And I think it was good and bad because it gave them the opportunity to see face to face the clients that were benefiting directly from all the different service efforts, whether it was just raking leaves or filling food bags. You were able to see firsthand who that was. What was bad and good about it, I guess, was that it was children and families, and it was good to see the diversity of the people that are affected by homelessness. It's not always adult males, as sometimes people think. I don't know about all of our trip participants and what their expectations were going into that, but to really see, that there really are children that are affected by poverty in the United States, and they're having to come in and utilize those services for whatever reason. I think that was good and bad because it's also, it's heartbreaking to really see, young children needing to use those services. So that was definitely a challenging thing and a blessing at the same time for me, and I think it's true for a lot of the trip participants based on what I've read from them and what I heard them talking about during the trip. So the Music City mission was a pretty beneficial time for us. We also got the chance to go out to lunch that day because the National Rescue Mission was a decent drive away, so we were able to go out instead of eating mission food that day. So I think the trip group appreciated that, and I hope they did. Not only because we didn't have to travel extra far, but because it's good to get midweek, kind of a little boost to get like a meal that was a little better than those that they have the rescue mission. It was a chance for us also to get a good experience for those who wanted to hang out with the director of the mission and some of the staff that worked there. And I know that a couple of our students got a chance to really speak with somebody who's worked a lot in the field of social work, and they happen to be people that are seeking social work degrees and wanted to kind of know what it's really like to work with the homeless community in practice, not just in theory that they learned in the classroom. So I think that was a good beneficial time for them as well. So we worked in the Music City mission. That was a great experience. I wish that all of our group participants really would have gotten a chance to work there. I really wish I could have worked that out. It wasn't for necessarily a lack of trying, but like I said, agencies aren't open on the weekends, and just wasn't able to work them both into our schedule and also give people a chance for a fun day. So I really wish more people would have got a chance to see it, but at the same time, you have to work with the schedules that the agencies are open and they're available to take your volunteers. And so that's what we try to do. So I'm sorry for those of you who didn't get the chance to participate in working in more than just the mission, but I'm excited for those of you who did get to see the different kinds of work that were being done at all three of these different agencies. And you can read all about that in these reflections that are being made by all of our trip participants. There's a lot of different needs that are being met by a lot of the different agencies, and that was one of the exciting things that I definitely saw on this trip, was the fact that like each agency almost offered something that the other agencies didn't, which is a good thing because you want to make sure that one agency isn't being overburdened with having to meet all of the needs at the same time, because that's just too much to take on. And you also want to see that they're not all trying to meet the same thing, because then there's so many issues that are being left out. For example, National Rescue Mission is kind of a place that deals a lot with making sure that there's food for everyone, making sure that there's shelter for most, making sure that there's that kind of thing. While the Campus for Human Development does a lot on focusing on making sure that there's access to resources, like a place to get your mail, a place to get phone messages, a place to get skills and job training and education, a place to to share a little bit of yourself through art, to have a chance to hone in your skills. Just because you're homeless doesn't mean you don't need to practice your talents. So those are some of the services that were met there, as well as like bringing in people. One of the services that campus offers was people who are arrested on the street for public intoxication and don't have a place to go. Instead of taking them to jail, campus takes them in, feeds them, and takes care of them there too. Both of those places offering substance abuse recovery. Both National Rescue Mission and campus offering those services. So it was good to see that being met, because that's a huge need there too. And to just see that. And then you have like the Music City Mission meeting food boxes for families, clothing for children in a completely different neighborhood than the two agencies downtown. This one is offering it in a place where a lot of the need is based on the kind of people that live in that neighborhood. The fact that they're escaping their home countries for whatever reason and have come to that area and really are in need. So another thing that they don't have to come all the way downtown when they may not have a way of achieving that. It's there in their community for them to take advantage of, and it's ran by a small agency, so it's cozier and down to earth. In some ways that's better for people to be more accepting of going there. They're not intimidated by a place that's too large, or not scared or whatever. I don't know how people feel that are in this situation, but I know that it would be I could see it being intimidating to have to go to a bigger place downtown when you're not familiar with the downtown area. So that was something special that Music City offered. Music City also offered, the chance to go in with dignity and pick out your clothing, which I talked about earlier. So that was a good service, so that they have that. They welcome the children into the facility to help with that. Although they don't offer shelter, like the children can come in with their families and help pick out their clothes. Mommy, I want this. Mommy, I want that. And there's actually some really cool stories from some of our volunteers about getting the chance to speak with some of those children to help them out when they're picking their things, and to actually use some of their skills that they've learned in different languages to speak with these children. So that was a really cool high point for many of the people on the trip that you can read about. So I was really excited about that. Overall, the trip working with all these different agencies was really good. I was glad to see the diversity of the services. Every single one of these agencies, I want to just say thank you to them. They were amazing to work with, each and every single one of them. They showed great hospitality in every single way of making sure that we were felt welcome, that we knew what to do, that we had things to do, that we were able to just be at ease when we were there at the time, and we had staff that were willing to help us all the time, and we had a chance at most places to interact with clients. And I really just wanted to show my appreciation to all of them, because they don't have to welcome in guest groups. I'm sure that they're glad, that just as appreciative that we're there. They told us that. At the same time, they don't have to welcome in big guest groups like that. They don't have to take the time out of their schedules to make sure that we know what to do because we're brand new people. Well, they did that because they wanted us to have a greater understanding of the needs that are being met. They wanted us to have the opportunity to serve our communities and to benefit others, and I really, really appreciated that. From each and every single one of them, and all the special treatment that we got. Campus hosted that special night for us with a chance to interact with their clients, having a movie night and a game night. I think that was really good, not only for the chance to interact with the clients, but also for the chance to interact with each other and kind of have a fun night together, where we were able to just kind of do some team building. And I really think during that night, with people playing games with each other and people watching movies and people just hanging out and chatting, whether it was with clients or with each other, it was a chance to really form some relationships that I think were beneficial for the rest of the entire week. And so I really appreciated her hosting that for us, and making sure that we were fed and got something to drink. And we had a really, really great dinner that was provided to us at the National Rescue Mission on our last day. Amazing buffet of food that they created for us as a thank you. And that was really, really awesome to see how much they appreciated us in that way. And that's really important for us to accept the gratitude. I know sometimes it's difficult when you've been working all week with people that are in need to take a gift like that, because you really think, well, there are people besides me. I appreciate being appreciated, but there are people besides me that could use this food. And it's important that they really, that we accepted that gift and that we took it, because it shows that we value them appreciating us. And it was a great meal, and I appreciate they put a lot of hard work into it, and I really like the shrimp gumbo. Very, very delicious. And so was all the rest of the food there during the week. And actually the food that they made, not for the banquet, was great too. I never really had a problem with the food at the National Rescue Mission. Some others feel differently, but I was okay with it. So I was excited about that. And the Music City Mission, like I said, they took the time to go out with us to lunch and to make sure we had time to fellowship with them. They were well organized, making sure that we had lists of what we needed to do for the day, tried to give us good hands-on leadership and guidance, and really got a chance to get to know our group, because it was a small group and a small agency. So I really appreciate them for that reasons too. And I just want to, again, thank every single one of the agencies that we worked with. Another group of people that I need to thank is the Frisk Center, because we kind of just popped in there with a group of 35 people expecting them to handle us, and they actually did a great job of doing that. Going to the restaurant, I know when I first walked in, like, one of the workers there was like, oh no, because here come 35 hungry people into their restaurant on a Sunday afternoon when they're usually not busy, and we're all coming in there to eat. And so I just really appreciated them going to all the trouble to deal with us then. And then also when we were at the check-in desk, there was nothing but hospitality. Even though I came in and I said, I have 35 college students that would like to go through your exhibits, and they're like, oh, well, people usually call ahead for that big of a number. And I was like, yeah, well, it said 2 weeks in advance on your website, so we didn't. And they were completely understanding, and completely welcomed us and gave us a great time there at the Frisk Center, to get the chance to see that Safe Haven exhibit. And we actually, so many people, I don't know if I talked about this earlier or not, so I apologize if I did, but we had some people in our group that had saw the exhibit about Safe Haven and really wanted to see it, so they actually took time during their free day to go down to Safe Haven I was able to arrange that for them to go down to Safe Haven and tour it in person. And I was actually kind of amazed that they were willing to give up their free day to kind of see that. I understood